Yeah, yo, blended by grace, blended by grace. This union we embrace cause they're blended by grace. They are blended by grace, blended by grace. Brother O and sister A, man, they blended by grace. It goes love, life, and happiness. God's time, miraculous. Our shine is currently online to manifest. Blended by grace, blended by grace. This union they embrace cause they're blended by grace. Yo, P-E-L-A, the Black Brady Bunch. It's the family of Nueve, a podcast of love. What's up? What's up? It's us, it's us. We vibe, and discuss. Come on.
Yo, welcome to Blended by Grace. I'm Amalia.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Ozie. What's up, love?
What's going on?
I'm doing good. You look good.
Thank you.
I feel like I ain't seen you all day.
It's been a long day.
Long day.
It's going to be even longer day. We're recording a couple episodes.
Well, listen, before all that, because we didn't really get a chance to like rap all day. So, how was your day?
My day was good. It started off pretty interesting. You want to know about it?
I mean, you're just going to leave me with a cliffhanger. Say it started off interesting. You might as well go. I mean.
It did. I was, this morning I was trying to be proactive.
Congratulations. That's typically not the norm.
Whatever do you mean?
I'm just saying, you would think with 77 kids, we'd want to be more proactive, but
Are you saying I'm a procrastinator?
I'm saying I tend to be one as well.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just, But shout out to you. Well done. Well done.
I tried. So I tried to get breakfast ready for tomorrow.
Okay.
So Zizi likes boiled eggs. She likes boiled eggs. So
Protein.
I started to boil her some eggs for tomorrow, and I forgot about them.
You burnt eggs?
Yeah, I almost burnt the house down.
So let me say this. Amalia could typically cook. She can cook. I'm assuming there's more to this story.
I got sidetracked. I was doing other things, and I forgot I had eggs on the stove, and I just started to smell something, and it was my eggs. Oof. They burned.
Well, praise God, I came home. I ain't smell nothing.
I tried very hard to make sure there was no funky smell up in the house.
You would have heard everybody.
Everybody would have been like, "What is that smell?"
Right.
So we still have a house. We still have a roof over our head.
Praise God.
Praise God. That was only part of my morning. Then the other part, our child, Sarai, she's the 4-year-old. She came to the room. She's like, "Hey, I have these 2 dolls. One is for me and one's for my friend." And she wanted to take them to school.
I thought she already had a toy at school.
They have plenty of toys at school.
I thought there was just one toy.
Oh, just like a little teddy to go to sleep. But that's all her teacher allows. Any extra toys, they don't need them. She has enough. So I told her that she couldn't take them. And as we were walking to the bus stop, she had her blanket in her hand. And I said, "Sarah, you want to put that in your book bag?" And she's like, yeah. So I opened the book bag and the 2 dolls were in her bag. The 2 dolls she was not supposed to take with her.
Did she freeze when you was about to open the book bag?
No, bro.
So she just let you?
She didn't even, she's 4.
I mean, I get it.
I mean, thank God that that's
4,
the innocence.
But she also knew to sneak 2 dolls in the bag.
She did not think
Lord.
Oh man, if she goes in this book bag, she's going to see.
So she heard you, but she didn't hear you with the note.
So then I was like,
Sarai.
Are these supposed to be in your bag? And she was like, So
she quick on this sorry tip lately. Everything is sorry.
I mean, that's good.
I mean, let's not get to that point yet.
She's 4.
Touche.
She's 4.
There's some adults that probably need to.
Right. Well,
that's a story for another day.
Straight up.
Well, I'm glad it sounds like you had an entertaining day.
Yeah.
Mine was obviously long. But they ain't want to know too much about our day, so we'll save that for later. Later. But today today's gonna be good. Today's gonna be good. For those who don't know either one of us on a personal level, and even if you do, probably more so you than me. But I think this these next 2 episodes are going to give everybody an opportunity to learn a little bit more about each of us, primarily like what our lives were like up until we got to this point, right? So get a little bit about the couple. The first episode, we'll get a little bit more intimate with our personal journeys. Yep. These next 2. So
so today we have the honor
hey.
To get to know the man behind the mic. I have some questions.
Talk to me nice.
I have some questions. So yeah, we're just gonna like dive into it. You with it? You ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So why don't you walk us through what childhood was like for you? What it was like growing up? Put us down.
Childhood was like growing up. So I'm the youngest of 5. And so, I think my siblings would say that the childhood that I lived, or that I had, was very foreign to them.
Oh.
I think they
Spoiled?
would say, I wouldn't say spoiled.
Okay.
I think mom definitely has favorites, right? Like, and I think I was.
Really?
Absolutely. I think I was definitely higher on that, list, right? The baby boy, like, I'm just saying. Shout out to mom. And so, they would definitely say that for sure. But nah, listen, we came from Nigeria. So I was born there, but we moved here super, super young. And it's interesting. Like, you ever watch that show, Fresh Off the Boat?
Nope.
You never watched it? And so there's definitely, like, I could empathize with my man on that show, right? Like, okay. I think growing up, coming from Nigeria and being raised by Nigerian parents who did not, they weren't trying to fit into the American way. Like, we're Nigerian, we live here, but like, the food you eat, the way we're going to raise you in this house, right, is it's going to be very much so the way all they knew, which was back home.
What was that though? What was different, the Nigerian household versus an American household?
I don't know any different, right?
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, like, I think, but let me say it differently. The culture, they ensured that the culture was evident in the house. Okay. Maybe I'll say it that way, right? Okay. I mean, they were strict. They were heavy on, I would say heavy on education. Not saying that like they didn't care, but it was like they were very much like, you're going to make your bed, and however and whatever that looks like is going to be on you. Okay. And so they were both in the medical field. And I think the stereotype of African parents wanted their kids to be doctors, lawyers, absolutely. They wanted they wanted all 5 of us. Put it like this: they were in the medical field, and not one of us are in the medical field right now, right? Okay. And so that was a little bit about their style, right? Both my parents were together. Mm-hmm. We grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood. Okay. And I'm not going to say we were the first, but there wasn't that many of us. Like, we stuck out like a sore thumb. Okay. Church was predominantly white. Could only remember 2 families, quite frankly, that were black. And so, listen, I'd say my childhood was dope having 4 siblings. If I'm honest, I didn't realize it then, but like looking back on it, like you always had a friend. And so, that's a little bit about, at least early on, childhood. Yeah. Okay.
So growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood, did you experience any racism, or like, is there an incident that you remember so clearly?
So, yes. Okay. Early on, I don't think you realize, like, kids I don't think realize there's racism until all of a sudden you're made to feel different. And then it's like, why y'all treat me this way? And then there was incidents. I think the more I look back on, I remember mom speaking about incidents at the school, speaking about, incidents in church and different things like that. But one incident that sticks out for sure that I was like, oh, we different, was somebody had spray painted early in the morning. They spray painted the N-word on our garage door.
Yikes.
And so I remember coming outside. I used to walk to school. I remember the police were out there, and the paint was fresh. The paint was dripping. And shout out to mom, man, because mom was like, listen, she said in front of the police officers, give me some spray paint. I'm about to spray paint. We're bleeping proud of it.
Oh.
And was so serious about
mom's
it.
A thug.
Right, listen.
Low-key, she's a thug.
And so I remember that day like clear as day, like it was yesterday. And so yeah, that was one time in particular where it was like, oh yeah, we different.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us then about, so you went to school in Jersey, college.
Yeah. Yes.
Why don't you walk us through what the young adult Ozie's life was like and what you kind of expected life to look like for you?
So college was fun. Shout out to Kane University, my KU alum, room 309. Shout out to my homies out there, if y'all listening. I enjoyed college. Played ball first 3 years there. I wanted to just experience college, right? And I did. And I remember my brother at one point was like, bro, you're getting out of control, bro. Like, you're out of control. And
the benefits of having older siblings that keep you in line.
You're doing too much right now, bro. You're doing way too much. And so I was like, all right, maybe. I started thinking through things. I was interning, and so I had a really good opportunity that if I played my cards right would have ended up being a full an actual position, right? Okay. And so I was like, all right, maybe it's time for me to like cool out, right? And so I met that Keene is where I met my wife, Jen, and we, basically we're talking for my sophomore year, and started getting really, really serious by the end of that sophomore year into junior year, right? Okay. And so we were dating, and didn't really look back. And so I remember my senior year, we, Jen and I grew up together, right? Like we grew up together. My 20s, as an adult, it was her and I.
Right.
We, literally grew up together. I remember my, 2 months before my graduation, actually less than 2 months before college graduation, my father had passed that same year. Jen's mom was diagnosed with cancer. And so we faced life, right? Like quickly. And we were by each other's sides, like through that entire time.
Right.
And I'll never forget my dad. We were in the car, and Jen and I were in the car, and my dad, before he passed, it had to be maybe like months before he passed, or even weeks, quite frankly. Said to her, he said, you're gonna marry him. You're gonna marry him, and he'll be a pastor, something like that. He said. And I looked at him like, man. And so what are you talking about? Like, I don't even know if she's gonna be around next week. What you talking about?
Hey, yo.
And so.
So not more about the pastor thing, but more so like
both.
How you know?
Both. Both. I definitely didn't see. I didn't see either. Right. And so he was a pastor. My dad. Before he passed. And so so after that incident occurred, like she was right there. Fast forward a year later, Jen lost her mom, and we had to re-go through things again, right, of grieving and so forth.
Right.
And so I think going through, pretty big incidents like that and getting ready to embark on life, like at this point I was working full time, getting ready to move around and so forth. And so it was like, if I'm going to do this, right, like either something's going to happen or we're going to like go separate ways. And, prayed on it and was like, I'm gonna do this, right? And so I know everybody was like, bro, what are you doing? Like,
how old were you
when we got married? When I got engaged, I was 23, maybe 22, 23.
Okay.
Got married.
So like, is that young? Is that like a young age to get married?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So what's like the normal?
I think most people typically get married in their 30s. I think it's rare to see people generally married in their 20s, maybe late in their 20s.
Okay.
Like 27, 28, 29, 30 or whatnot.
Okay.
But that early,
so
fresh
22,
out of school,
23, they were like,
and people were like, bro, you're going to go enjoy life and everything else and so forth. And I'm like, if I know what I want, like what I'm waiting for, what I'm gonna be doing, like I might as well I'm with her, I'm gonna be with her, so might as well just do life together. So that was my perspective. Okay. And so so we got married, and life happened. got married and life happened. And so when we got married that young, our thought process was we would enjoy life.
Okay.
Right. So it was like, when I say enjoy life, I say enjoy each other.
Okay.
And just travel. I was moving around for work a decent bit. And so Jen was going through her master's. So it was like, no responsibilities. Let's just go through life. And so I think we were probably thinking like 5 years we'll start having kids. So I remember Jen, we were in Atlanta and she was probably lonely. And this was like early after we got married. And she was like, dog or kid? That's what she said.
Okay.
So it's easy. Let's get this dog. Let's get this dog. Kid. Let's get this dog. 5-year plan, bro. Let's get this dog. So we got a dog. And got a dog. And I was in Texas at this point. Mm-hmm. And I remember Jen shot me a picture, and it was an ultrasound. And I thought it was her homegirl. I said, she said, bruh, this is yours. I was like, oh my gosh. And so
you didn't have a dog, just the dog. You had a dog and a child on the way.
On the way.
Hey.
On the way.
See, that's because you're trying to be slick. Like, let's just go the dog route. God's plan.
5 years. God's plan was different. God's plan was different. And so, so once we knew that we were going to start having a family, whatever, we started making provisions to get back to Jersey.
Okay.
It was like, all right, if we're going to have a family, my mom was in Jersey. Jen's dad was in Jersey.
Okay.
And so it was like, our family's there. I was trying to get her to move to Texas. She's like, bro, I ain't moving all the way to Texas.
Oh, boy.
I'm going back to Jersey. And so moved back to Jersey. And then life just happened, right? I think my perspective once I got married, like I said, was 5 years chill, go through life, start having kids, building family once you're established, and so on and so forth. God's plan was get married,
start having kids.
366 days after we said I do.
Get out of here.
was born, yeah. And so at that point, it was like, all right, start a family, and the bright side is we'll be young when she graduates from college.
Right.
And we'll try to get a couple more and be done, and we'll live that life on the back end.
Did you have like a certain number that you wanted?
Jen at one point wanted to outdo Mom.
I'm sorry?
She wanted to outdo Mom.
No way.
That's what she said. She said, she used to tell my mom she wanted 6 kids. And then after we had maybe the first 2, she was like, yeah, I don't know anymore about that. And so we Nye came 2 years after E. And then Z came 5 years after Nye. So it was a little bit of a break there. That was when that 5-year plan actually came in play. Okay. And then Sarai, shout out to COVID, because she was not planned. Okay. In our plans. Okay. COVID happened.
Right.
And a lot of idle time occurred. And, we didn't social distance.
There's a lot of COVID. Yeah.
So
there's a lot of COVID babies.
There came Sarai. And so shout out to her. She was born. And 4 kids.
4 girls. 4 girls.
4 girls. And what I will say is this. For anybody pregnant, very random. Mm-hmm. But I would say not finding out. We didn't find out for the last 2. And it was the best.
Really?
It was the best. Everyone else around us hated it.
I would have been like,
we were trying to people wanted to shop for us, do different things like that. But we enjoyed. It was a surprise. There was clearly we wanted boys, or at least one boy, and so it was like, let's just be surprised. Let's enjoy. Let's just pray for a healthy baby. Hopefully a healthy baby boy. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, and we were definitely surprised. It was definitely a little like, she's crying. Cool. For sure. I ain't gonna lie. I remember Jen looked at me, I think it was with Z. It was like, are you mad?
You didn't play that off too well.
I was like, thought it was
oh my goodness.
So yeah.
Okay. So 4 girls.
Yeah.
Sarai, 2021. Mm-hmm. Okay. After, unfortunately, tragedy hit.
Yeah.
Right. And what you had to go through, people can only imagine. Why don't you just kind of walk us through what life looked like for you?
Yeah. So 21, God is good, man. So good. Like, as I just think back. Mm-hmm. So I was born in April. And mind you, this is like the tail end of COVID. And we were like, are we ready to be out in these streets? And we went to St. Martin, Disney, St. Martin, Tennessee, those 3 months. Of her first 4 months, we went to those 3 places. Wow. Rushed to get the passports and all that stuff. And during that time, and I say that because of obviously what happened, right? And so there was a lot of memories that we were able to build in that period of time that I'm eternally grateful for.
Right.
But Jen was experiencing headaches. And so she was experiencing these headaches. And she, they intensified probably in August. And I remember we talked to the doctor. Doctor was, trying to get some, what's it called? Ultrasounds set up for her and whatnot. And then at some point in September, actually it's like 4 years ago, from this relatively around this time period, she just was like, this is bad. I gotta go to the ER. She's like, I never felt like this before. I gotta go to the ER. And so we went, did what we gotta do with the girls, swung over to the ER. And unfortunately, because of COVID, they weren't allowing multiple people there, right? Now you go there, you can sit with the person, right. You can stand and all this stuff. And so that didn't happen. And so I dropped her off. I remember her calling me at 10:30. It's crazy that I remember the time. I remember I was at Starbucks sitting down, working, and she called me and we talked. I'm like, you good? She's like, yeah, I'm good. Said we love each other, and we typically don't say bye to each other. And it was just one of those all right, we'll see you later. I was like, I love you. And that was the last time we talked. The last time we actually talked. I just didn't feel it right in my spirit, not hearing what was going on. Got later in the day. I had this urge to clean. I went home and just started cleaning the house.
Really?
Yeah, it was very weird because, me, just had this urge to clean. It was weird. And so, and then I shot back to the hospital, and it felt like deja vu once the doctors finally came. The doctors were getting me running around, all this stuff, long story short. But when I talked to a doctor, it felt like deja vu. And it felt like when my dad passed. And I remember going there and hearing the exact same words from the doctor. Very reminiscent, right? Which is, I don't know if there's much else we can do. She's on life support. Jeez. And so I went from talking to the doctors earlier in the day, thinking that they were running these tests and scans and felt like everything was good. So all of a sudden, in a matter of minutes, it's like, there's not much that we can do. And so at that moment, for me, it was just like, what in the world is going on?
Right.
And I started calling people, and it was tough. It was tough. Tough at that point. And she was in the hospital for about 5 days, roughly 5 or 6 days, before she went to go home to be with the Lord. So.
Can you walk us through those 5 days, because some things happened during that time?
You know, I think God used those 5 days to prepare me for now, like life after Jen. I saw him in a way that I met, like, the encounter with him was like something I've never experienced. The first 24 hours was grief, shock, everything, right? And then all of a sudden, I think there was just this realization of, like, this, the God that we serve, right? Like, this is the same God who raised Jairus from the dead. This is the same God who says that we've got that same power inside of us. So if this is that God that we serve, right? Like, why then not for me, right? Why then not for Jen? Why not, right?
Right.
And there just became this shift of, like, this is God. There came this shift of me approaching him with boldness, as the word says, right? Approach him with boldness with our requests and make it known. And I felt like that son going to my father and just conversing and talking. And it was like, if this is the God that we serve, God, you're going to show out, and you're going to show up.
Right.
And in that, our revelations coming, things coming, it was like, I'm not going to allow, not knowing what's going to happen with Jen, I'm not going to allow her time here to be in vain. And there was a move and a shift in the hospital, right? We made sure, very intentional about the atmosphere, and people coming in with the right energy into the room. And if they didn't, I asked them to leave, right? Just,
what do you mean? What kind of, what was the right energy?
If a doctor came in, her face looked like she was, didn't look welcoming.
Okay.
Excuse me, miss, I'm gonna need you to leave.
Okay.
We made everybody say hallelujah before they walked into the room.
Oh, wow.
Right? Wanted to set the atmosphere. And as we did that, the Holy Spirit the Lord was present, right? Like, we felt his presence in the hospital. The prayers, I mean, there were nurses, there were people there who worked there who didn't know God, didn't encounter God. And I remember afterwards saying, I'm starting to go to church, or just the encounter that they had through that experience.
Wow.
And they acknowledged that it was just a different, like, just what is going on here.
Right.
Right. And so the toughest thing in that was praying, Lord, let your will be done. And I think during that time, I found peace in that saying. Right. I found peace.
Hard.
What?
That's hard.
Extremely hard, saying, Lord, let your will be done.
Even if it doesn't align.
Even if it doesn't align, right? Like, so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that even if faith is different, right? And so I found peace in even if. I found peace in knowing that like God's will is perfect. And that happened through that time. My faith grew, my boldness grew, my intentionality with him grew. And, you know, just getting through those 5 days, coming home, having to talk with the girls about what was going on. It's like all of that. I needed those 5 days to prepare myself and my faith for this walk, right? To know that God was in control. I think that's really what came from it, is that I walked out of there with knowing that he was in control. And I remember going home and I remember, you know, I stayed there literally all day. Probably didn't shower for like 5 days.
Oh,
actually, you know what? I showered. I did shower on like day 3 or 4. I think somebody made me go, like, yo, bro, you gotta go take a shower, bro. And they brought me some clothes. I actually got a haircut. I actually got a haircut too. But I remember going home and the realization that I had was life goes on. Like seeing people who don't know what just happened to me are just continuing life around. I'm like, everybody's just continuing life. My life goes on. And I think I needed, like, that's what I'm saying. God just talked to me in different ways of just like, life goes on, life continues. And I'm just grateful that I'm a Christian,
right?
That I can be at peace with death, right? That even knowing that God's will might come or might be that, being at peace and knowing that, quite frankly, she's in a much, much better place than she would have been had she stayed here. Right. Right. And quite frankly, better place, better situation that we're in right now. Right. Right. And so, yeah, I found peace in God's will.
Wow. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. What did life look like for you as a single dad, raising 4 girls, during that time?
Life was blessed. Life was blessed. You know, there were what that situation taught me, especially early on. Before I even get there, shout out to my tribe. Let me start there first. Shout out to my tribe. Shout out to my siblings, cousins, family, friends. You know, shout out to the Bullocks, man. Like, there's so many people who showed up in you know, meals. Like, there's just so many people that like just blessed me and blessed me and blessed me that I just can't even like begin to like thank and name, right? Yeah, like, so that's first and foremost. Like, I wouldn't have gotten through, and I don't, you know, God bless anybody else who's in a similar type situation and doesn't have that support and help there. Right. Because I don't know how I would have gotten through it without that. But on a personal note, right? Because, you know, all those people went home and went around all day. And what that situation taught me, and is still teaching me, but definitely early on, was it had me as a man tap into parts of me that wasn't natural, right? And so I'm not saying men aren't empathetic. I'm not saying that men aren't emotional and sensitive, right? Some people are too emotional, some might be too sensitive, but that's a whole nother topic. But it may not be quote unquote natural, right? To lean that way. And when Jen passed, I was nurturer to an extent, and then I was also still dad. And so I actually feel bad for them, because trying to do both, it just wasn't possible. Right. And so like I really needed the grace of God, and God would show me after the fact, either faults. God would say, go give them a hug, go into the room and just go hug them, right? They just lost their mother. So I had to, there's lots of grace that I had to give them as well. And it forced me to be more than just really a role that I played quite well, which was just being the fun dad, right? And take them to this and take them to that and go like, that's the easy stuff.
Right.
To sit and have a conversation with your kid when they're mad at you and, you know, they're grieving and they did something like that right there was different. And
why was that? I'm assuming Jen.
Well, Jen was the hammer.
Oh.
So Jen would be the hammer. I come in on the back end. I was the hammer now, and
so it was like
I was the person hugging.
It was like bad cop, good cop.
Straight up, she was bad cop.
Oh.
80-90% of the time.
Okay.
She was the bad cop.
So now you had to be the bad cop and the good cop.
And the good cop. And I couldn't understand.
That was difficult.
I was like, yo, you just... But listen, there was some times when the girls would be like, we would be beef. Something would go on. The next minute they want to come hug me. Next lay my like, do you not just realize like what? It was hard for me to compute, right? Those types of things I think were challenging. Then, like, listen, like just taking care of a female.
Yeah.
Was different.
Yeah.
Right?
What you mean? Like,
like, listen, hair.
You was doing hair.
Hair.
You was doing
you know, and their hair ain't like, you know, it's not just, it's different. You know, black girl hair is different. Right? And so.
I mean, but I think there was a part of you that enjoyed doing hair.
No,
listen. No. Hold on.
I enjoyed when it turned out the way it was supposed to turn out. Like, I learned how to do a wash and go. Learned how to. I was doing edges when Jen was there.
Listen, y'all. He still does edges. Like he still does edges. He takes pride.
Straight up.
In doing edges.
Yeah, that little Superman.
I mean, I think he was just doing edges like last week.
Straight up.
Doing Sarai
ass. She asked.
He was like, "Do you want me to?"
Asked.
She was like, "Yes, Daddy."
You know, got the little brush and all that stuff.
Legit. I need to post a picture. I do have a picture of him doing her edges, but yes.
But yeah, listen, I learned more than I cared to, but I'm thankful for it, right? But there were times, you know, that I cried when I would let the girls leave or the girls would be late for school because I'm trying to do a wash and go and it ain't quite going the way it needs to. Like, you just ain't curling right. And so, you know, it was tough. And, you know, I remember like I was calling, I'd reach out to people like, yo, I'd pay y'all a year, book me on third week of the month, like anything, just get me in or whatever. And so it was challenging, like trying to figure those things out. It was tough.
You know, I'm sorry to cut you off, but one thing that just comes to mind is, like you just said, you're thankful for everyone that came together to help you. But to think of the amount of people that had to come together to help you for one person not being here, that just shows the impact that Jen had in her family. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, not saying that, you know, I know that you're thankful for everyone that came through and helped you in some kind of, whether that's cooking, whether that's doing the amount of stuff
that she just did that you
didn't even think about.
You don't have to think about.
You didn't have to think about it. You know? So the impact was real.
Yeah. No, it was. It was. But yeah, that time was tough. And I think people, I remember my aunt told me, like, just seeing and like not sure, like, you needed a wife, right? Like, in retrospect, I think she looked back and was like, yeah, you needed a wife. Yeah. She's like, I remember talking to, I don't know if it was my mom or somebody else was like, nah, he needs a wife. Because this is not sustainable.
Yikes.
Yikes.
Yeah. Well, that leads me to my next question. when did you know, well, mine is somebody telling you like, bro, you need a wife, but like, when did you know like you had to open yourself up for love again? Like, let's be real, that has to be extremely tough to to continue to love what you had, right? And but yet move on.
Yeah.
Right? How did you go through that process?
Like I said last episode, right, as I typically say, right, prayer was I needed to pray a lot. Right? I needed to pray a lot. I also, as I said earlier, I think that realization that I had leaving the hospital, I think was very profound. In the sense of like, I need to move on. I need to move on for the girls. I need to move on for me. And I remember people telling me like, you should just stay home for the next year and like lock your door and just like cry. It's like, that's depressing. Right? Like, who wants to do that? No, listen, I'm not saying I didn't.
Right.
I had my days. Listen, I had my days where I would be in my room crying and wait until the girls got home and then like, all right, let me tighten up real quick. I had my days.
Right.
However, I allowed myself to grieve when I needed to grieve, but at the same time, I allowed myself to be present in the moment, which was very, very important. I'm
sorry.
Yeah.
Say something.
Go ahead.
I think as a believer, though, I think it's important that we don't stay in a place that, where it's just, where's the faith in that? Right. Like, and if you believe that this is God's will for whatever reason, and you know that his plan for your life is a good plan, staying in that state, I don't think is beneficial for a believer, right?
Yeah.
But I do think it is important to grieve what you did, right? Like you didn't just shut it off because, the word of God says that I need to just keep pressing, right? Like, and all things work together for my good. So because I know that I'm just going to walk this out and just suppress what I'm feeling. You didn't do that. You definitely went through.
Listen, as I stood on my faith, and listened and allowed God. I remember one fast in particular, and I think I shared this with you. It was very evident, like hearing God in the sense of like, you need a helper, for what I've called you next for you, right? And that came up multiple times, and to your question around loving again and all of that, it's a leap of faith, right? Like it's a leap of faith, right? Like there's so many things that you could think of around, what if something happens to this person, right? Like what if something happens to this person, or what if this person's not good for my kids, and this, that, and like there's 1,001 things that could come through, and it's just trusting in God. And taking my approach was take a step, sit in it, see how it feels, move. Yeah. Take a step, seeing it, be present in it, and move. And just listen to the Lord and move accordingly. And so he provided me the capacity, which is something that I wanted to make sure that, like, Lord, how can I do this? Right? How can I love, especially as it became, when you and I started getting more serious, and it was like, Lord, she got 3 kids, right? Like, how do I have the capacity to love her the way she needs to be loved, to love these 3 kids the way they need to be loved, plus my 4, right? Like, Lord, how are you going to give me the capacity to steward over these 8 people, right? And all of that, right? Like, I had to like really be intentional and seek God for, because in the natural, it's daunting.
Why would I even set myself up for that?
Right.
No, I get
right.
it.
It's
I
daunting.
get it.
Like, it's daunting. So I just trusted and believed and just walked in faith.
That's good. That was definitely a question that I had.
What's that?
When we started talking, was like, how is he going to be able to love me the way that I need to be loved? Yeah. And God is good, because you show up every single day. Mm-hmm. I never have to question whether this is true or not, so yeah, God is good.
Yeah, all the time.
That's only because of him, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's real.
So that's dope. So that's gonna kind of bring us to our grace moment. The grace moment.
Who reads this one? You?
I read this one. I do. The verse that we're going to read today is Romans 8:28. Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah, Romans 8:28.
Romans 8:28. This kind of, does it sum up?
Yeah.
What what everything that you said today, and this is fitting for Ozie's journey. And it reads, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Why is this verse so important to you?
Sometimes people misuse that verse. And it's important to note in that verse that it says, for those who love him. Right? And it's important to note that. Like, if somebody's watching this and they're like, doesn't matter what I got going on today, God's going to work this out for me, right? Like, I did this, God's going to work this out.
And according to his purpose.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. And so, if you're not following guys, it's not, it says those who love him, right? So you gotta love him.
Yeah.
For that to work, for this to work, right. The way it reads. And, I remember at the hospital, I was talking to my sister, and it was like, whatever God's got next, it's going to be good. And the next chapter, like, if God knows what he's doing, this God that we serve, he's going to do all this, like, it must, because I don't understand.
Right.
And that verse right there, right, to be able to trust that he will do that. And if he wrote it, he said it, like that. Those are his words. That's his words to me. That's what he's telling me that he's going to do for me. The as you said, according to his purpose, right? So what that looks like, I may not like completely everything that happens after the fact, right? That's what we talked about with his will. However, like, in the natural, I may not like it, but as I know that the situation that happened, even though it was a terrible situation,
right?
God's like, I'm gonna make that still work out for you. I'm gonna make this work out. I'm gonna make this work out for Adore, for Naraya, for Z, for Sarai, right? And they may not be able to see it now. And so I think, like, when knowing that is why I can smile. Knowing that is what got me up every day. Knowing that, like, verse, that, like, it will ultimately work out. And as long as I continue to follow you, Lord, that you are going to work this out for me, I'm going to follow you.
Yeah.
Because I want this to work out for my good. Because I don't get it. I don't understand it. All I know is, if I continue to follow you and love you, that no matter what is going on, it's going to work out for my good. And that good is a good that is not even something that I will see here on earth. It is a good that's bigger, right? And so that is what we're chasing.
Right.
That is what we're chasing as believers. And so knowing that, right, is like, it's different. It hits different. It's the Bible talks about transformation of your mind, right? Like the renewing of your mind. Like my mind needed to be renewed to be able to go through something like that, and then to be able to rest in that truth and be comfortable with it.
That's
and
good.
So like the kids, they don't, Dad, why are y'all don't understand it yet. Don't worry. Like this is going to work out.
Yeah.
We're going to laugh one day. We're going to see like God did this for us. So
yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for your obedience. Thank you for not staying in a place that that could have been dark for you. You know, you kept pressing and you trusted that that all things will work together for the good of those who love him. So we thank y'all for joining us. And we'll be back with my story.
Yep. Can't wait.
All right, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Family of Nueve, a podcast of love. What's up? What's up? It's us. It's us. We vibe and discuss. Come on.